خاتشي شيبلي. استراحة الآن.
Oh, I'm looking angry. What's wrong? Oh, it's probably because the music's too loud. There we go. Hello, everyone. How are you going? I don't want to sate the day like this. Hello, welcome in. Today's time for Harpia versus the 104th Phoenix. Let's do the dice rolls. The most important part of all of this, the 104th has picked heads. So, firstly for the map. 3, 2, 1. Map number 6. Ooh, that's a rare one. Okay, and they disagree on ECM. So, for starting side, Harpia picks starting side, and ECM is allowed. Okay, give me 1 second to set up the server. How are you guys going in? Welcome today. I hope you're having a good day. As some of you who've known me for a little bit will know, I'm going on break shortly, so I hope that you guys are all having a good time, and I'm going to miss you all very much while I'm away. Look forward to coming back with lots of good stories and plenty of things to show you, no doubt. Okay, mission load. Run extensions true. Mission. And we are looking for number 6, which is Tbilisi versus Sukhumi number 3. All right. This ought to be very pretty. Okay. And I'll let the chat know, the participants know who's got the starting side, and then shortly you'll have plenty of good stuff to look at. So, okay, Harpia pick starting side, ECM is allowed. Everything's looking good and feeling good. How about yourselves? How are you all doing? Am I sounding okay? Is everything sounding okay? I caught myself getting a little bit too engrossed in watching the trailer. I It's a bad habit I've got. I should be using the time the trailer's playing to prepare everything, but I catch myself watching the trailer every time. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of never had tracked the fact that if you watch that trailer, you see that when the MiG-29s dive down, like they separate out from 4 into 2s, when the 2 drop down, they very briefly appear on like the big radar screen, but only for a moment. A whole month, no air show, it's going to be tough. Oh, I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you will be fine. But I appreciate all of your sentiment. Don't forget to join in on the Discord and all of that. Looks like Harpy is going to pick the red team, Sakumi Babushara. So I hope you guys are all having a good day. There's been plenty of things going on. This week's been an interesting one on the world stage. Australia had its elections yesterday, which was a very interesting time. And as a whole, there's plenty of politics going on in the world, so I think this is a perfect opportunity to remind everyone that SATAC is a non-political organization, and we are here for the love of flight and nothing else, to see these wonderful participants from various places in the world compete against each other. And of course, from across the world, we have the Brazilians of Harpia. They'll put on their liveries shortly, I hope, because they look gorgeous. Inspired by the P-47s, here we go, used by Brazilians fulfilling their obligation to Italy and a distinguished service they conducted themselves with. Are we happy with the game at this level? It feels a little bit loud. I'm just going to nudge down the game just a bit. Rest in peace, Australia? Nah, it's okay. So they're looking gorgeous and a veteran team of many competitions. Let's see who we've got. From HRP, we have Newt, Uquina, Poker, Red, Wolf, K-Nog, and the indomitable Gurky. Gurky operating as a sub, a mercenary during one of the matches that happened last weekend and distinguishing themselves very well. So, a team of enormous pedigree and talent. You should expect the best from them. But it's not going to be easy. Equally undefeated in SATAC so far, we have the 104th Phoenix, including West, Maverick, Stooge, Pyromaniac, Wiley, and Mogas. They have some gorgeous liveries too. Let's see if we can go and see them. Check this out. Don't they look pretty? Skitsy, are you familiar with the 104th? Is there any information about them that you can share? Are they friends of yours? Do you know these people? I'm just admiring their liveries. I think they're gorgeous. Danger, danger, yeet seat. Hopefully they don't need it. Hey Fluffy, welcome in. Let's go Harpia indeed. I was just showing off the liveries of Harpia. Alright, the F-16's looking gorgeous. Let's have a look at what else they're bringing. F-16s. Ooh, that's a rare choice. Check it out. ECM on the wing pylons as opposed to the centerline pylon. How cool. And it looks like all of them are doing that. No kidding, that's interesting. What about the F-15? I'll just let them know if the 104th F-15 has a skin on. I cannot see it. Let me just make sure that I installed my skins correctly. well. That's not good. Okay. So they went more fuel. I know. Who can tell me what that means? Let's go and have a look at these beautiful machines. I want to make sure I have everyone's liveries, so let's see. Okay, they didn't give me an F-15C skin, so no worries. And here we're looking at Wolf in an F-18. He's got sparrows? Well, there you go. One of the things about SATAC is that you are limited to a maximum of 4 Fox 3 missiles. So, despite the Hornet being able to carry so many, it's limited to 4. And seeing as you're going to have to bring the double rack pylon, even if you only bring one AIM-120, it's a popular choice just to bring sparrows on the fuselage, because who's going to say no to more missiles? So, Wolf, Newt, Zukina, Gurky, Red, K-Nog, and Poker bringing it up the rear. I know, right, Spudley? No, I think the Legacy Hornet is gorgeous. And speaking of 4 AMRAAMs, K-Nog has too many. Let's see. Nope, taxing just yet. All of the F-16s having their jammers on their wing pylons is so interesting. Harpier is an excellent squadron. Yeah, they're brilliant. I have had the pleasure of casting their matches. Both of these teams undefeated so far. Actually, that's interesting. One of these F-16s doesn't have a jamming pod. Which one? So it looks like West isn't bringing a jammer, doesn't feel the need. And of course an F-15 Charlie as well. Just check their missiles. Everything looks good. Hit them hard. I remember I had this explained to me last time. Okay, how's K-Nog going? Hopefully once he gets in position he'll rearm. But yeah, I have a soft spot for Harpier, not only because they're a great team, but because I really, really love their liveries. I love national teams in SATAC. I love international teams that have a variety of people, but I must admit I have a real soft spot for national teams, you know, people that keep with just one nation. It makes these things very exciting and interesting. Of course, both sides equipped with Boeing E-3 Sentries, kindly provided by NATO, free of charge, to support the organisation of SATAC. Third time back-to-back TAC World Champions. This is going to be a good match. Mm-hmm. Their reputation precedes them. And of course, a lot of these guys... Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. A lot of these guys, sometimes you'll just catch them on multiplayer servers, you know? And it's always fun when you see SATAC players just out in public servers and stuff like that, and usually they just shoot me down. And it wouldn't be an F-15 without the engine screaming like banshees. Alright, K-Nog. Cool. K-Nog has fixed their loadout. So it looks like Harpier has a backup just in case of connection problems. Let's check who that is. It's Poker. Okay. All right. So the 104th are making their way downtown. So, we'd better put up a poll on screen so that you guys can voice your opinions. Let's get this up on screen. Okay, who's gonna win round one? Is it going to be Harpier or 104th? Phoenix. That'll be up on your screens now. And I have just been provided the missing livery for the F-15. So while they're doing their takeoff and climb, I'll switch over to TAC view and just quickly reload DCS. Hello, King Bailout. Welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. I haven't said hello to everyone. Who have we got here? King Bailout, Skitsy, Zing J. Ooh, I can't even say that. Hey, it's Airbus. How you going? You want to see multiple kill farms today? Absolutely. You've got something against me. Spudley Newt. Good to see you. Shorter Guns, Jake TBW Nemesis. Good to see you. Good to see you. Anyone I've missed, let me know. I wonder, I'm lost, scan for reward. If someone can scan that for me and make sure it's not something bad. Oh wow, that's an ugly loadout. A second backshot has hit the shark. Congratulations. And thank you for the follow, Dozer301. Love my streams. Oh, I'm glad. Yep. We'll be taking a holiday. I hope you guys will still like me when I get back. I'm sure you will. I'll miss you all a lot. The F-15C has the highest KDE in SATAC 25. You know what? I would have thought it would be the J11. I think the SD10s are disappointing a little bit at the moment. Whereas the AMRAMs are just random. But it feels like a lot of matches have gone to very close ranges, so it's surprising to see the F-15 thriving in that environment. Okay. Both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. There we go. And Mazukatu, thank you for the follow as well. One big grocery bag loadout. Ain't that the truth? Hopefully that doesn't make trimming things out too hard. Why are you going? I'm going on a holiday with my partner. So it's not a bad reason, it's a good reason. And off goes the first pilot for the 104th. It's Wiley. Harpier leads with Wolf and Newt taking off. J11A, 22%. Ooh, that's lower than I expected. HRP, Fluffy, thank you for following Camper and FX as well. So, Wolf takes off along with Newt, and they immediately split fast north and south. It was the F-15C with the highest KD. Of course, one can never express our gratitude enough for AlphaGator and Special K and his DCS server bot, without which some of the tracking, and in fact, the vast majority of SATAC itself would not be possible. Most multiplayer servers that you play on use Special K's DCS server bot, one of those unsung heroes that makes our hobby so accessible. Okay, so we have 2 left to go. It's West and Pyromaniac heading down the runway. And up they go. Okie doke. I'm just going to rejoin to fix skins. But while that happens, let's get on to TAC view so that you guys can keep up with what's happening. But it's nice when everyone has skins to take an opportunity to use them, so I'm just going to restart DCS. So, having a look at the TAC view, we have Gurky, Wolf, Knog, Red, Yukina, and Newt. Newt and Wolf seem pretty content to burn up to high altitude. Meanwhile, over on the blue sides, we have Wiley, the first to take off, leading the way, followed by Maverick and Mogas. Cadet West and Stooge are heading north. Pyromaniac is happy to head south. All right. So, it looks like we've got pairs in Gurky and Knog, and Yukina and Red, stacked on top of each other, or at least following fairly closely. Gurky is currently... Who's leading the way? I guess it would be Wiley. It's about 137 nautical miles to go. All right, just getting DCS loaded up in the background. Looks like Pyromaniac is the first to ditch one of their tanks. Centerline goes off, and Stooge as well. You can quite predictably get a sense for when you expect those things to come off. It's amazing how fast they go through them. Touch wood that this fixes the F-15's livery, and we can have a fully liveried match. Harpier forming up while 104 seems to be randomly flying. I can guarantee you that if there's one thing 104's not doing, it is randomly flying. There is a distinct plan going on here, and some people like formations. I know that the 51st PVO take prodigious advantage of their formation flying. To give them an advantage, whereas some teams like to play it fast and loose. In fact, in my experience, a lot of the teams from China tend to keep to loose formations, and they do extremely, extremely well. So, I don't think it'll be to the surprise of anyone if the formations aren't tight like glue. All right, welcome back to DCS. So, both teams have now entered the circle. Wolf and... well, I'm sure we can get something a bit more energetic for now. There we go. 104th training program takes over a year. Goodness gracious. Okay, so Wolf, Gurki, Yukina in the circle. Wiley's leading the way, though. Let's check out that F-15 can... oh, no, it didn't work. Ah, oh, bugger. Hopefully it will work for the next round. Everyone is about 90 nautical miles away from each other. Only the F-15 could really hope for a lot when it comes to this range. So Gurki not afterburning and only at 31,000 feet. Mogas in the F-15 is kind of the altitude champion at the moment. Happily at 44,000 feet. No missiles off the rails just yet, but Stooge and Maverick. Yeah, I mean, you guys say that there wasn't a formation, but have a look at this. We have Wiley with Mogas 20,000 feet directly above him. Stooge and West are all 20 nautical miles from each other and 10 nautical miles from the one in front. This box is about as good as you can possibly get. And looks like the 104th Phoenix are the favourites for this round. Harpy are coming in as the underdogs. As they spread out into battle formation, we're going to see these two teams clash. Interesting tactic here by Mogas and Wiley. Presumably, if one of them gets locked, the other one is going to be outside of the scan range of the other. So, arguably speaking, it's going to be very difficult for Harpier to keep a lock on both the high target and the low target at the same time. Mogas goes all the way up to 48,000 feet before letting loose an AMRAAM. Wiley's following along behind, but no launches just yet with that double ugly loadout. Still has that wonky fuel tank. Welcome in Play and Fallen. Enthusiasts of the 104th. You only have 20 minutes before work? Well, we'll make sure it's worth it. As Newt responds with the 120 of his own, or their own, heading up to 50,000 feet and traveling at 1,600 knots. The missiles will crisscross in the air, both about 50,000 feet. The one fired from the F-15 looks like it's destined for Newt, who is beginning to notch it, unless it's going for Yukina. You don't feel like Harpy is the underdog here? Oh, just in terms of the amount of votes on the poll, certainly I don't think Harpier is to be underestimated by any stretch of the imagination. I think Newt is contending with this missile now. But yes, both of these teams know their craft well, so I couldn't have picked a better match to do before going on break. Newt shouldn't have the hardest time getting away from this one. It slows down to 800 knots, and that's pretty much the edge of effectiveness of 120. The one that's chasing down the F-15 is still at 40,000 feet, but has slowed down to 700 knots. The F-15 will be travelling faster than that. So, a hit is a mathematical impossibility. It'll fall on Wiley, Stooge, and Maverick to push in. Question is, has Wiley managed to sneak in underneath the radar? Certainly will be visible coming up to altitude like this. Newt still contending with this long since defeated AIM 120 is going to have to hope to get into the fight pretty quickly, and certainly does. Wiley and Yukina at low altitude, now within 14 nautical miles of each other. Let's see who gets the shot off first. Wiley's certainly got the altitude advantage to be able to see, but Yukina has a mountain to work with here, so they're within range. But no launches just yet. Wiley, in fact, getting within 9 nautical miles, almost within the no-escape zone of Yukina. Gurky's going to have to turn north to help us, presumably, if they know that Wiley's there. In fact, Wiley holding off on pulling the trigger for a while now. Some countermeasures coming out, surprisingly, in anticipation of potentially some A9M action or similar. Maverick and Gurky are getting close now, but Wiley and Maverick are going to pinch on Gurky at the same time, and Gurky's right at rock bottom altitude. Going fully defensive now to get away from Maverick and Wiley, but Maverick has to turn back from Wolf. Stooge now caught with an AIM 120 coming for them. The missile jerking around the place as it does the AMRAAM shaker here. But it looks like the Seeker head is no good as it struggles to try and catch up. This heavily maneuvering F-16 as Stooge gets down low on the water. With the ECM pod on the wingtips, on the wings, and Wiley finally takes advantage of this close-range position, uses it to fire a rear shot at Kanog, who is at 1,000 feet. Wolf is contending with a missile of their own. This one will need to be notched. No dice. The first kill happens as Pyromaniac takes down Wolf. Kanog getting chased by this missile, but it slows down to 600 knots, not fast enough to catch him. So it's 1-0 in favour of the 104th in terms of kills at the moment. But no effect. Wolf disconnects. No effect. Gurky with an AIM 7 launch at 5 nautical miles. Might be going for Maverick. A polite warning to Maverick saying, please go away. The Sparrow not to be underestimated, but Gurky has turned ice cold, and as a result, that missile will be getting no guidance. West at 20,000 feet with an AIM 120 coming towards them. This missile travelling at 1,200 knots, but West is defensive and has dropped his fuel tanks. This missile appears to be destined for the trees. Certainly so. The 120's fired in response towards Red and Newt. Both of them cold against them, and the missiles are slow. Probability of kill, not high. Yukina at 5,000 feet fires off an AIM 120. It feels like it might be up towards Mogas here. So this missile going to have to go stratospheric to find its way up to the F-15. And only peaking at 1,500 knots, I don't think is going to be enough speed to get it up anywhere near where it needs to be, unless Mogas wildly outplays this defense. Yukina with the altitude to evade this one. Slows down to 1,000 knots. And Yukina is easily away from that so far. Maverick has picked up for just long enough to fire at Gurky. Gurky fires an AIM 7 back, but has already broken the lock, realizing that there's an AIM 120 to contend with. But of course, an AIM 7 is much less valuable in the arsenal than a AIM 7 as Sir Stooge fires off a 120. Between Newt, both of them firing at about 6 nautical miles. Hopefully Sturge hasn't been caught at too high an altitude here. This AMRAAM seeming to have serious trouble. Sturge looking like they're having a bit of stuttering going on, unfortunately. As the AIM 120 that was fired in response is no good. The AWACS is not a player during the group stages. That is something that happens later on in the knockout matches. So they have data link at the moment, and GCI is provided. Gurky still managing to jam the Wes. And West has an AIM-120 coming in. This missile, if I didn't know better, feels like it has potential. Is West going to be able to pull enough shapes to get away from this? I think West is in trouble. West dodges it, just manages to jam its aerodynamic limits. An expert dodge. Stooge's got one to deal with, but it's doing the AMRAAM shaker in a big way. So it's a 5v6 still, with plenty of missiles fired, but limited effect so far. Gurky fires off a missile, starts dropping countermeasures, but no one's fired at him just yet. This one's going for Maverick, and he's straight into the dirt. Maverick appears to be immune to missiles as Pyromaniac turns in hot, dips up just high enough for just long enough to get off an AIM-120. It's a close-range shot towards Gurky, who's going to have to try and notch it. Oh, Gurky getting very unlucky to get hit by that one. Pyromaniac with 2 kills so far. Both kills belonging to Pyromaniac. Newt fires off an AIM-120 towards Maverick, who fires one back at about 5 nautical miles. This one towards Maverick's going to be tricky to get away from. Maverick pulls some shapes. More stuttering. That's unfortunate. But does manage to get away with it. The missile fired in response, no good either. Dual target track from Mogas towards Yurkina and Red. Red's missile with some potential here. Yurkina, no dice. What about... no, not Yurkina. Mogas takes out Red. Yurkina gets away though. Clean. Meanwhile, Maverick and Newt are comfortably merged, but Maverick manages to take out Newt at close range with an AIM-120. Harpia loses another jet, as Maverick takes down Newt, meaning that K-Nog and Yurkina are the last 2 remaining. West is pushing in hard now, with 1 AIM-120 left to go. West is baying for blood. K-Nog is getting pinched from all directions here with a 120 coming in, and sure enough, it does the job. AIM-120 towards Yurkina, who's fired at Pyromaniac. Let's see if Yurkina can defend it. No dice. Kaboom, as 104th managed to clean the board. Let's check if anyone's still up from Harpia. Okay, 104 RTB. 104th putting on a clinic, as Mogas has already begun the journey home. A fearsome performance put on by 104th. Let's have a look and see what happened. So Wolf, the first one to go down, cresting up at 11,000 feet to shoot off a shot at Maverick, who was cold. Actually, no, it was a quick dip up in altitude to try and take out Pyromaniac. This initial exchange of missiles. Incredible that Pyromaniac did manage to get away from this one. Seemingly doing so just by jamming the aerodynamic limit of the AIM-120. So, Pyromaniac gets away with it. Gurky working at low altitude for the vast majority of the match. Unfortunately getting caught out just out of position by Pyromaniac at 5.2 nautical miles. Gurky goes down. Panog managing to defend missiles here. HRP showing that they do know how to defend missiles really well. But Newt ending up at a knife fight range. Maverick picks over the hill at 2 nautical miles and fires off 120. That's so close that I'm almost... You're almost within range of jamming the Wes there, but Newt doesn't manage to get away with it. While that happens, Red over here has the F-15 at 45,000 feet, or rather when it launched it was at about 36,000 feet and started ditching altitude. Red gets caught out here with the missile kind of coming straight down. Yurkina manages to get away from it for a little while, but caught over the water by West with AIM-9s and AIM-120s, and at the same time Panog gets done in by Wiley as Wiley manages to evade the missile fight in response comfortably. And it looks like they're forming up. Just have to answer a question. Give me 1 sec. All right, 104th making it back in formation. So, what do we think that Harpier can shake up here? Both teams seem comprehensive in their ability to attack and defend each other. It felt like the 104th had a better mastery of the ability to dip up to altitude when they needed to, just to fire off one missile and then go straight down. It did feel like a close match. Not only did it feel like a close match, I think it could have very easily gone either way. Not to discredit the 104's performance, that was absolutely spectacular, but at the same time, Harpier did feel like they had plenty of potential there, and I wouldn't count them out yet. Hi Hex, welcome in. You're at the closing of round 1 of 104th versus Harpier. 104th managing to keep all 6 pilots alive. certainly does not seem as if any of the members of 104th are struggling in terms of fuel. Though we will have to keep an eye on their landing performance. They have 34 nautical miles to go. If they're holding themselves to this kind of standard in a formation flight, I can only imagine what their landings will look like. Thank you, Paul, and good luck at work. Have a good day. Their formation isn't symmetrical. Well, they've got 2 engines on each side, you know. Sounds like they just went supersonic. Let's listen. That's so fun. Let's just hear it again. I mean, it's undeniable how cool it is, isn't it? I've lost the camera. We're in the clouds. Where are we? There we go. Cool. Went IFR for a second there. Okie dokie. Looks like the runway's in sight. Sounds like your girlfriend shutting your car door. Yeah, it sounds like me knocking over something in the kitchen at 4 o'clock in the morning. Negative, this is round one, Puppington, and 104th is making their way back home to the runway to secure the win for round 1. That looks like an overhead brake. It's so extra. I love it. Last F-16 goes up, and then the F-15 will be next. Looking good, feeling good. Looks like Maverick is leading the way home. Are you telling me that this new chatter's name is Puppington and they have a new pup? Talk about the stars aligning. What did West do? And Maverick is down and safe, it looks like. Let's just get that nose wheel on the ground. Of course, they'll do aero braking for as long as they can, because they will. What exactly did West have happen? Okie dokie. Looks like Pyromaniac is in next with Stooge to follow. So, there goes round one. Oh, no. Okay, that's a go around. And of course the F-18 is landing with its tail hook down. Because why wouldn't it? Oh my goodness, who's got flares left? Oh, it's West. Mogas is coming in the F-15. Right. That is 4 down. 2 to go. Stooge coming around for another go. Is there a Weatherspoons at Tbilisi? Man, I'd kill for a £3.50 pint at the moment. Okay, as soon as the last member of 104th lands, we're going to get ready for the next round. That'll involve running some ads for those of you not subscribed. My apologies, it is beyond my control. Twitch and Jeff Bezos demand that I play the ads. I can only choose when they happen. And of course I'm going on holiday soon, so I'm not going to dismiss the opportunity to make an entire 8 cents. Alright, West about to touch down. Gently does it. But as I like to say, any landing that you can be carried away in an ambulance in will be good. Alright, gamers. So, it's time to get ready for round number 2. But while we're waiting for that to happen, let's hear a word from our friends over at Master Arm.
Running a dedicated DCS server can be complex, time-consuming, and expensive. And after all that effort, you still might not get the smooth, seamless experience you're looking for. That's why virtual pilots and virtual squadrons choose Master Arm as a ready-for-immediate-use solution and for peak efficiency. With low latency, high stability, and uncompromising performance, Master Arm ensures that every maneuver, every decision, and every shot counts. Stay mission ready. Fly with confidence. Master Arm has your 6. Get your server at www.masterarm.de.
Welcome back, everyone. Just rocking out to some Alice Cooper. As we see, the members of Harpia are here and ready to face off. Now, on the blue side, that means that they are at Tbilisi Locini. Same loadouts as before, with a couple of minor differences. Not bringing as many Sparrows this time on one of these F-18s. We still have Kanog, Red, Yukina, Gurky, Wolf, and Newt, with Poker acting in reserve, just in case they suffer a disconnection. Meanwhile, over on the red team, for the 104th, we have Stooge, Jake, Pyromaniac, West, and Spade. did install that F-15 livery that they gave me, but it's not working. Unfortunate. Hopefully, can sort that out if I get to do another 104th match, which I hope I do. I love casting SATAC. While we wait for everyone to get over to the taxiway, how are you guys going this weekend? What kinds of things have you got planned? What will you be up to? You're only here for the music? That's okay, I'm only here for your money. Look, it's Wiley, and he's got the F-18. Stacked on top with the F-15 in the first round in an impressive performance of keeping distance and spacing with your teammates on a vertical axis as well as a horizontal one. So, it looks like Poker is moving now, and the members of Harpia are making their way down to the runway. What money? Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Newt is the first to lead the way. Going to be a tough match for Harpia, but I am convinced that they have what it takes. And there go the Brazilians forming up in a set of 6. All right, looking good and feeling good. How are they looking on the 104 side? Not moving just yet. We have Jake, Pyromaniac, Stooge, Wiley, and Spade so far. And K-Nog has formed up with the rest of his team. Also, thank you for the follow as well, Puppington. I realise I hadn't said anything yet. Thank you very much for all of your love and support. It has been a tremendous time, and I look forward to coming back renewed and reinvigorated to cast more of our beloved game. Okay, looks like 104th are on the move. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. And Skitsy, thank you for the follow as well. Okie dokie. So, the full lineup. Wiley, Jake, Stooge, Spade, Pyromaniac, and West. You see, if I was competing in SATAC, I have no doubt that I would mess up my taxiing and I'd hit a corner too hard and I'd flip over my F-16. I see we have a couple of 104th members in the chat as well. Are you guys part of the competitive teams? What's your experience with the 104th like? There we go. So we'll hear from 104 shortly that they are ready and good to go. Meanwhile, Harpier is all lined up with engines set. Wolf right at the front. Taken out early in the first round, probably looking for some revenge. Whoops, that is not what I meant to do. Press the wrong button there. Never lost a round to them. Astounding team, though. Ah. This is 6v6, Little Sack. 6v6. Okay. Both teams ready. Get set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. And Harpier makes their way down the runway. The F-16 leads the way, the F-18 following close behind. As we see Newt and Wolf pick up speed and get ready to rotate. 170 knots, 190, 200 knots, and wheels up. The gear comes closed as these triple-bagged F-16s get ready. And Wiley is taking off with the double ugly. This absolutely brutal mixture of AMRAAMs and AIM-9s. Unacceptable loadout, but we will be forced to accept it. As Stooge takes off as part of the second group. Little Sack, well, look. You know how it is, John. Sometimes it's cold. 104th wasting no time getting up to altitude. Afterburning and pointing the nose straight up as Spade follows along. K-Nog is off the runway. Poker should leave now. No need for the reserve. Little Sack, please tell us where a name like Little Sack comes from. You sound like a Native American who got his balls exploded. Am I allowed to say that? I don't think you're supposed to say that. If I'm not allowed to say that, please tell me and I retract it entirely. Spade is going straight up as well. This F-15 destined for the stars. Almost catching up with its AWACS, as you can see, just over the top of the aircraft. One of his teammates beginning to contrail. You're right. Having his dad be Big Sack is absolutely the funniest. Okie dokie, so Wolf and Newt spread out into the north and south, followed by Gurky and Knog in the north, and Yukina and Red in the south. Stooge, Wiley, Jake, Spade, West, and Pyromaniac are separating out into their battle lines. Thank you, Light-Sided. I hope you're doing well. From your gnome character in World of Warcraft, he had a little sack. Well, I'm sure that for him it was probably about average. You can say whatever you want, technically. Yeah, but the last time I bought too much into that philosophy, I posted some stuff on Twitter that lost me a lot of followers. Nothing offensive, just an incredible amount of pornography. So, breaking the sound barrier in the climb, Newt makes it up to 32,000 feet. As Pyromaniac and Jake appear to be peeling off into the north. Ah, but you see, there's the trick, Jakes. I don't live in Australia. I am Australian-made, as all good products are. But, I am not in Australia. This is one of those things where you feel like there must be a story behind it. Oh, like a stereotypical high school bully. Hey, nerd. Watch out, little sack. Bet you can't hold anything in there, dude. You're insane, man. You're out of control. Though, here's an interesting fact for all of you men in chat who need to occasionally check your testicles for signs of cancer. Did you know that there is a medical device specifically developed to assist doctors in ascertaining the size of one's balls? The name of this tool is an orchidometer, and it's a ring of beads of various different sizes. So, just goes to show, chat, you have a ball size, you just don't know it. Alright, there we go. Sounds like there's some experience with this. Well, I think that men's sexual health is something to be taken seriously. Well, they dunked it into a beaker and measured water displacement. Yeah, well, they used to do that light-sided until I went there and they didn't have a big enough beaker. You could live without that info? That's the ironic thing. You might die if you don't have that info. Check yourself. So, Newt and Spade are 61 nautical miles away from each other. Newt is quite far ahead. You just dip yours into a Ford Fiesta cup holder. Strangely enough, I don't think in any Ford Fiesta that would be the worst thing that's been in a Ford Fiesta cup holder. Though any of you who have been watching Andor, one of my favourite quotes was said in the most recent episode. Calibrate your enthusiasm. It's an assignment. I just love the term calibrate your enthusiasm. Yeah, you see, everyone gets all uppity about me when I talk about ball size and men's sexual health, and you guys earlier were encouraging me to embrace free speech, so I'm starting to think that this might be a totalitarian dictatorship. Okay, looks like Newt went forwards to try and bait out some missiles. No dice, though. Didn't quite manage to attract any attention. Spade not taking the bait. Yukina now on the attack. 52 nautical miles away from Spade, who's at 43,000 feet, nearly 10,000 feet above their harpier opposition. No missiles off the rails yet, but we will probably see them soon. So Newt's turning cold, Gurky, K-Nog, Red, Yukina, and Wolf proceeding in at pace. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll do anything to keep a SATAC stream entertaining, not the least of which includes playing Subway Surfers at the bottom of the screen when a 1 hour and 45 minute fuel fight initiates itself out of nowhere. Dictatorship, Swoop Monkey, I'm going to check whether or not you're following. However, it would be remiss of me to say that I had not once found a potato that was phallic in nature that I held up and showed it to my mum and said, hey, look, it's a dictator. And that joke didn't land, but that's okay. You win some and you lose some. So, an early shot from Spade. Not sure who this one is at, but it doesn't seem like anyone on Harpy is going especially fast. So, they ought to be okay if it comes to defending this one. Who's it going for? There you go, Sweet Monkey. You know the deal. Oh my god. I just accidentally drank half of a gin and tonic. And I'll let you guess which half. Got to put in the other bit. The D stands for something? Yeah, it stands for doing your mum. No, the D in my name has a backstory, but there's no time for it right now because the battle's happening. Okay, so Red looks like they've managed to get away from Spade's early AIM 120 shot. Interesting that it goes towards Red, because Red was actually fairly far back compared to Yukina and Newt. So, no dice on the connection of that first missile. Stooge now turns towards Yukina, 20 nautical miles worth of distance, all within range of attack, but Gurky is approaching Jake at quite a low altitude. And if you were going for stealth, I would have thought you'd be a bit lower than this, but he does have the mountains for cover. Does make me wonder if Jake's going to try and shoot here. In fact, Jake has just shot straight down at Gurky. Gurky fires one back. It's an AIM 7. The same 7 as opposed to an AIM 120. I think well aware of the fact that Jake's going to get away from that one pretty handily. Gurky doesn't seem to be too troubled by that AIM 120. It's already slowing down to 800 knots, and Gurky's going at 600. So, 3, 2, 1, mathematical impossibility. Not going to hit. Wolf now proceeding with Pyromaniac at 30,000 feet above. If you're curious about any of the rules specific to SATAC, or the results, or any of the statistics associated with the event, you'll see periodically in chat appearing a link to the SATAC Discord, hosted and organised by the 51st PVO. So, of course, make sure that you interact with all the rules and things there. They'll be better equipped to describe them than I will be. Another AIM 7 out from Wolf. Lots of AIM 7s coming out early from Harpier. This AIM 7, no bingo. Wolf with a fairly close range AIM 120 shot. Looks like it's about 7 nautical miles. As 120s go in both directions, Red shoots at Wiley, Wiley shoots back, Newt is defending against a missile and has one out towards Surge. So they're all seeking. This 120 that's chasing down at low altitude gets defeated. It's at 600 knots, no bingo. Wolf is going to get away. And Wiley has managed to spoof the 120 fired at them into the ground. No losses so far. Knog, not far from Jake, 12 nautical miles now. Yokina is pushing towards Stooge and West, but appears to be going defensive now, aware of the danger. I wouldn't be surprised if Sturge or West fire at Yokina, but Yokina's already cold. Knog trade missiles with each other. Knog firing another AIM 7. Lots of AIM 7s going out here. They seem so confident in being able to defeat the 120s that they're using AIM 7s to be able to beat them out. And sure enough, it looks like they've handily defeated each of these missiles so far. Are we seeing the development of a new and advanced strategy from Harpier? Prepared especially to deal with the 104th. Newt, now within a 120 to contend with, but deep within the Caucasus Mountains and with plenty of terrain to evade this one in. The only thing you have to be careful of is that the ceiling is 5.5 thousand feet as opposed to sea level. So the missiles can be a little bit proactive. Gurky fires another AIM 7. It has the desired effect. Pyromaniac is continuing to go away cold against these AIM 7 launches. Hey, Ricky Morrow, welcome in. Red gets away for another AIM 120. They are positively draining the 104th of 120s at the moment. And 104th is not getting much result for all of that effort. Sturge now having to contend with a 120 of their own, but has the mountains to deal with. Jake's got a 120 to contend with. Doesn't have the energy to catch up, though, and gets defeated in the roll. Likewise, Gurky perfectly fine to get away. No dramas. Still 6v6 with a very firm battle line, both teams facing off directly along this parallel axis. Harpier seems to have remained dominant in the fight so far. They're definitely dictating the tempo of the battle. Pyromaniac not launching any missiles yet. How's Jake doing? Jake is down to a Sidewinder. So Jake, despite still flying, is out of missiles. So those AIM 7 shots managing to almost completely exhaust Jake's missile supply. Wiley has a 120 to contend with, but it's going low, probably for the terrain. Yes, overcompensates and explodes. And I just pressed a whole bunch of buttons and nearly broke my computer. That's fine. An AIM 120 towards Newt to contend with. This one's going slow, though, and does the AMRAAM shaker. It's doomed. Surge, Sturge, and Yokina are 7 nautical miles away from each other, but flying in opposite directions. An AIM 120 towards Jake. It's super close range, but Jake brings it into the rocks. Pyromaniac now getting very close. Pyromaniac still equipped with all of the missiles that they need to do anything here. Only missing one AMRAAM, but Wolf manages to get a 120 towards Pyro. Pyro does have the terrain to get with it, though. Hey, these 104th boys are hard to kill. Red, West, Stooge, and Spade are all collapsing in on each other. Newt launches an early 120 towards Sturge at 8 nautical miles. Pyromaniac manages to push in and evade here. Stooge already cold towards the 120 fight in response. This one's going for the trees. Impacted. No deal. Newt has one coming towards them. It's traveling at 1,200 knots, so it's still got speed. No dice, though. This one goes for the mountains. Enormous punishment being dispensed out towards the Caucasus terrain. This is why SATAC is best spectated from a stream as opposed to in person, as if you were spectating the match in person, you certainly run the risk of being blown up. A 7 nautical mile shot towards Stooge. Stooge may have overextended here, is being caught out of position here, but the missile just goes bizarre. It doesn't recover in time, and Stooge manages to get away from it. Newt and Spade at close range. And AIM 120s trade in both directions between Pyromaniac and Wolf, but they both defend so effectively. Their defenses are insane, but Newt might be in trouble here. No, the missile flies over Newt and explodes over his right shoulder. How's Spade contending with this missile? Looks like it slowed right down and is no factor. So many missiles shot, but Wiley manages to splash Yurkina here in the central area, managing to catch them in the valley after firing an AIM 9 at close range. So it's a 5v1, but one has to remember that Jake is all out of missiles, not even AIM 9s left. He's a gunfighter now. Pyromaniac fires an AIM 120 at Red at the same time that West fires an AIM 120 at Gurky. Red's going to have to defeat this one in the notch, or alternatively with the train. Has the options and manages to use none of them and gets splashed. Down goes another one. Pyromaniac takes down Red. Same 120 creeps in to the Harpier F-18. But no dice. Wolf and Jake are 4 nautical miles away from each other. Newt and Stooge are 6. K-Nog pushing hard now. K-Nog launches an AIM 120. It comes off the rails and goes defensive pretty much straight away. Everyone feeling pretty exhausted in terms of missiles now. So, Pyromaniac. 1 AMRAM left. Jake, no missiles left. Wiley, 2 AMRAMs still to go. Plenty of AIM-9s. West, 1 AIM-9. 1 AMRAM. Stooge, 1 AMRAM. So they still have a bit to work with. Wolf and Stooge face off towards each other. Stooge pulls really hard before firing that missile. That missile's going to lose a lot of its energy in trying to adjust from that shot. But this might be the first one to go down. What the... Okay. Just manages to get away from that one. Sturge somehow managing to pull the magic button that makes missiles not work. K-Nog and West not far from each other, as West manages to splash Gurky at close range. This AIM 9 going to K-Nog. K-Nog needs to flare, but doesn't notice it. K-Nog gets splashed. Newt now close up and chasing down West. Has him directly off his right-hand side. Doesn't quite make the connection, though. Wolf and Spade, dead close to each other now. Newt right behind West. Should have a clean shot, but may not have weapons to convert, as 120 chases down Sturge. Wolf is razor-sharp close to Spade. The same 120 going towards Newt. Now Pyromaniac fires off at Newt. The missile comes off the rails. Your only hope is notching here. Countermeasures dispensed all over the place. No dice. Newt doesn't get lucky and manages to take that one, and Wolf takes an AIM 120 as well. And that secures it for 104th Phoenix. Let's check that everyone's down and out. They are. Okay. So the 104th Phoenix defiantly declaring themselves large and in charge in this situation. Let's have a look at how the match went from a TAC view perspective. So, Yurkina was the first one to go down, getting caught slightly out of position by Wiley with a 5 nautical mile shot. The A9 fired in response, but did it just not have the energy or the track to get to Wiley? Looks like the A9 didn't have the legs it needed to get up to Wiley, as Yurkina gets splashed in exchange. Red, in this particular instance, taken out by Pyromaniac at 5 nautical miles, dipping up to 10,000 feet. That seems to be the 104th's prerogative. They zoom climb up to 10,000 feet, launch their missile, and then instantly go cold. So Red goes down in exactly that fashion. Wolf eventually getting splashed at the last moment by an F-18 fired AIM-120C. That one was fired at 5 nautical miles, but a large altitude advantage for Wiley. Newt, surrounded on all sides, makes a valiant effort to try and get away from this AIM-120, but doesn't manage to find the notch as Pyromaniac splashes them. Just beforehand, Gurky gets caught with an AIM-120 that seems to track him all the way down. And welcome in, Night Assassin. How are you going? I hope you're having a good day today. Thank you for sharing your community with mine. You're just seeing the tail end of this match between 104 Phoenix and Harpier. So, let's get a shout out for Night Assassin. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like DCS content, then Night Assassin is a must follow, as they are keen as a bean when it comes to aviation of all kinds. K-Nog as well, getting done in by an AIM-9, fired by West at 3 nautical miles. Without flares, that thing was definitely going to find its mark. Now let's see as the members of 104th find each other in the sky. So, still alive, we have Stooge, Spade, West, Wiley, Pyromaniac, and Jake. It looks like the 104th managing to not suffer a single loss in this match. A stellar effort from the 104th, I think, but also a fantastic effort from Harpier. 104th is a very, very, very challenging team to compete with. And I think Harpier really made them work for it. I think Harpier really showed up with a huge amount of preparation and effort, and they fought their absolute guts out. And I think that is worthy of applause. So I want to see claps in chat for Harpier for an excellent first and second round and a phenomenal effort against the 104. Welcome in, Mogas. Very sorry that I couldn't get your F-15 skin working, but congratulations on a fight well fought. Once landed, we'll do interviews. Okay, and I will let Harpier know the same. No, it's a spectacular effort from all involved. I think everyone should be very proud of that one. That was some very, very, very high-level DCS. That was DCS at a level where things started to feel like, ooh, geez, this is really advanced. I wouldn't know what to do in this situation. Certainly if I was facing off against 104th, I don't think I'd stand a chance. No, and in fact, that's an incredibly good point, Fallen. I commented in the middle of the second round that despite so many missiles having had been fired and so much trading of missiles back and forth, not only was everyone still alive, but everyone was still cleanly on both sides of their battle line and were just right where they needed to be. And it was just spectacular. For Harpier and for the members of 104th, it was just spectacular. Let's see if we can catch them in the glint of the sunlight. These golden boys making their way back home. Yes, Maverick was flying, but only for the first round. As we see 104th begin to make their descent. Skill levels in both squadrons are frightening, you're not wrong. So they're making their journey back home and descending through the clouds. I wonder if we'll get a little bit of an air show as we make our way back home. Stooge being left behind in the formation, not quite fast enough. Probably a little bit low on fuel. Can't blame them. And Madman Kane, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you everyone for all of the follows. Don't forget that the links to the organisers of SATAC are appearing in chat periodically, so go and check them out. Big thanks to Master Arm and all of the sponsors that you see at the bottom of the screen, along with all of the organisers to make this possible, and volunteers like AlphaGator and Special K, without whom none of this would be possible. So once 104th has landed, we will take time just to have a quick chat with some of the teams, if they are willing to come and have a little bit of a yap session with me. Other than that, And sure enough, the overhead break with flares. A classic. .104 shows us just how it's done. Looks like Wiley leads the way for the landing pattern. And down goes the hook. Fly Navy. Of course, Wiley will be billed for the damage done to the tarmac. And I'm sure the crew chief will have a few words as well. Wiley makes it down safe and secures the win for 104th. Looking good and feeling good. Let's see if anyone feels like having a yap with me. West follows closely behind. Alright. Pyromaniac, the next one to come down. A little kick, but nothing too troublesome. As we are joined by the venerable Jerky of HRP. Harpier, how are you going? Well done. Congratulations on an incredibly well-fought match, but against the 104, that's never going to be easy. How are you guys feeling after that one?
We want to congrats 104. They fought really well. The problem with DCS competitive is that even when the match is pair-to-pair, after one or two guy go downs is the total crap, let's say. So
well, in fact, we had Mogas from HRP in chat say that it is definitely a snowball effect after you lose one or two pilots after a point. And was that what it felt like, that after one person went down, you just lost the coverage and it was too much?
Even more with some more experienced teams, they do know how to use the gaps in the coverage. So the match at first, on the first match we did worst, I think. We just lost a guy on the beginning. And that proved to be bad for us. Then we lost myself. I died after that. On the second round, I think we did better. We maintained the coverage more time, and we did manage to take the round really long, at least. And after we did lost some guys, it was a snowball effect. Congrats to 104. They are really good and they did really well in this match.
Absolutely. And during the first and second round, but particularly in the second round, there's quite a lot of usage of AIM-7s. Now, you don't have to reveal your strategies if you don't want to, but is this an attempt to try and exhaust them of their missile supply, or was there a different strategy being used for the AIM-7s?
There are some ways of using the M7s. On some ranges, you will not pay for it. You'll not wait for the AM to pop, so you can use them as control missiles, or since they were using, most of them were using ECMs, M7s does have Hammond jamming, so
yeah,
they are dangerous. If
absolutely,
not,
and I think you will watch the TAC views afterwards, and I think you guys will be slamming your fists on your desk at how close some of them came. From the 104th, may you please introduce yourself? Is this Maverick we have here?
Hi, gentlemen. Good evening. Nice to be here.
Oh, it's nice to have you. Welcome in and congratulations on the victory. 104th, of course, a team of expertise and veterancy, but so is Harpier. Preparing for this match, Maverick, did you take a look at your Brazilian opponents and analyse their strategies? And what did you take away from it, if you did?
Yes, definitely. So we always try and do our homework. We take our opponents just as seriously as we take training ourselves. So I got to give credit to 104th Wiley, 104th Pyromaniac, who done a lot of the research on the Harpia and just came up with some strategies. Specifically, Wiley was coming up with the game plays that we could potentially go in with and use, and it looks like he definitely did his homework, because the plans that we put into place today worked out. But yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough match. I don't think the results for us getting home 6 alive in both rounds really reflected how well Harpia flown. Especially in the second round, those guys were really disciplined, and it's just a shame that I think he's already mentioned that as soon as you lose 1 or 2 aircraft, it's very easy for the whole pack of cards to start crumbling. And
absolutely,
if I'm completely honest, I think Harpia were in the driving seat all the way through the second round, right up until we managed to get a couple of kills, and then it went our way.
Absolutely, and in fact, at the time, I was saying that. It did felt like Harpia had managed to keep very, very close control, as both teams had to kind of stay on both sides of the line in which they were fighting. And then, as you say, one member collapses, and then that can mean that you get the chance to collapse in on the opportunity. Of course, 104th takes training famously seriously, and that engenders a certain ability to speak without communicating. As to your intentions, do you feel that the 104th has a inherent knack for knowing what everyone's doing and what they expect their teammates to do? And is the trick to that just training?
Yes, and yes. There's no substitute for practice, as any kind of professional sports person or anybody in that type of field will tell you, and that really translate well into DCS. And a lot of our success, particularly in kind of a few years back now, has come from the fact that we all fly together as much as possible, and when you fly with the same guys over and over again, you start to kind of be able to second guess what they're doing, what they're thinking, how they're going to employ their weapons, and you can position your aircraft into a position to support that effort. So yeah, it's really all just about practice and taking it seriously, and but at the same time, it doesn't always go our way. Recently we've started dropping the ball a little bit, and this year's really about the kind of the rise of the Phoenix. We're starting to build back up again and get that focus on back to PvP combat, and I think the results that we've had so far this year is starting to reflect that.
Absolutely. I can guarantee that from someone who plays a lot of DCS multiplayer, that I think 104th members are about responsible for about 80% of the times that I get killed whenever I'm anywhere. You guys are frustratingly difficult to deal with. But, of course, have managed to come out on top of this one. But, as you say, the second round felt very, very close. Especially, it felt like everyone had expended quite a lot of AMRAAMs. Many pilots down to 1 or none in terms of missiles. Like, I'm not sure, I think it was West, or it might have been Jake, who was completely empty beyond a certain point. Was that becoming a worry, that HRP with their AIM-7s might have exhausted your entire missile supply and you'll end up defenseless?
I'll be honest, I was watching the stream in a different room with my girlfriend, and I was sweating just a little bit, but at the same time, it's something we train for. We know that some people are going to run out of weapons faster than others, but if you have a look at the aircraft loadouts coming back to base, we still had a few missiles on board that we could utilise, and it's always a concern when you're fighting against Hornets, because they can carry more weapons than the Vipers and the F-15s. So yeah, there was a little bit of sweat on, but at the same time, I had confidence in my guys. I train, I watch them train, I train with them. I've got every confidence in them that they're going to go out and do the job to the best of their ability. So I was worried a little bit, but at the same time, confident that I had the right people in the right places and they were going to get the job done.
Absolutely. Well, I would like to say personally it's been an enormous pleasure both for HRP and for 104th to participate in this match. It is extremely, extremely high level, breathtaking stuff, and it's astonishing to watch. So to both teams, I would like to say thank you very much. And also, as we wrap up today, I would like to open the stage to Harpier and Gurky if there's anything you'd like to say, any shout-outs you'd like to make, or anything you would like to get off your chest. Please, go ahead.
I want to thank you guys, our show, for the wonderful stream, and Maverick, thank you guys for the match. It was great. It was always a pleasure to see you guys flying, and it's even more pleasurable to fly against you guys. And hope to see you guys on the semifinals or finals.
Now I'm going to demand that I callus that match. I'm not going to give people a choice. Well, thank you very much, Gurky. And Maverick, the same to you.
Absolutely reciprocated, Gurky. Thank you so much for the great fights. We'll have to do some more scrims together in the future because we always really enjoy flying with you guys. You're, good professional conduct, and you guys are always really difficult to beat in the multiplayer servers as well. And you're always giving us a good fight. So, yeah, thank you so much for making today enjoyable. And good luck to you and your team. And we hope to see you guys again very soon in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I'm sure it's a Saturday evening and all of you would like to get to your girlfriend, such as you said, Maverick, and Gurky, I'm sure you've got the rest of your day to deal with. So I hope that the rest of your days go well, and thank you so much for a spectacular match. I really, really enjoyed that one. And, looking forward to the matches you guys have to come. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
All right, spectacular to have had been joined by Maverick and Gurky there. Such good competitors, such wonderful members of the DCS community, such enormous contributors to the content that we all love so much. Of course, I always feel self-conscious when I get complimented during these sessions because I really have the easiest job. These pilots showing up and doing their best is breathtaking and truly inspirational. I love it so much, and when teams come out of matches like that with nothing more than the desire to face off again and improve and get ready for the next missions, it's just the best. And it's part of what makes DCS and SATAC so special. Well, it's time for me to sign off for this evening, guys. I'll be going away for a month on Monday, so I hope that you all will be okay and enjoy SATAC in my absence as soon as I get back. You will have the Airshow 2.0 model to look forward to, and a whole bunch of more flying to be done, and a lot of stories to be told about our worldly adventures. Don't forget to interact with the links to the SATAC Discord and to their community that you ought to engage with. Make sure you don't miss any of the matches. I'll put the information in chat for you now. Make sure you follow that one. And if you would like to keep up with me and my adventures, please feel free to join my Discord, as well as following me on Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky. The links are available down below, and you can hit the follow button as well, so you'll be the first to know when I make it back from my worldly adventures. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you to the 104th and Harpier for flying for us today. I hope that you guys all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in the friendly skies. Big love to everyone. Goodbye. See ya.